How far now? How are they? As you can see, I'm still really smiling. Even though Manchester United couldn't win their game against Newcastle yesterday in the Premier League. It was disappointing. It was a really disappointing night. Expectations were high. You know, in the build up to that game. Personally, I expected Manchester United to win Newcastle, even though we know say Newcastle now one of the teams where they give Man U serious headache. I mean, if you know the history, you gonna say Newcastle they always give Man U tough time. I expected Manchester United to win that game. To be honest, I mean, looking at how impressive they've been, up until yesterday, but that's football. I mean, now why football is sweet. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you draw. All right, but waiting matter most now. Say the players and the coach they understand. Say they don't really mess up. It was way below expectation, and I think it was particularly disturbing because Newcastle were down by one man. I mean, they got a red card, in the game. So I was thinking that Manchester United were going to make good use of that opportunity to, really deal with them. But what we saw was different. So it was even as if after they get that red card, now they come even strong. But truth be told, Newcastle were in complete control of that game yesterday. They were in complete control. So I think what they did, it was really a tactical thing. So what they did was they tried to sort of shut, say Manchester United, they stronger with flanks. That's talking about, especially when you have Ahmad in the game, and then you have Mbomo in the game, and then you have what's his name now, Cunha, because these guys are very fast. So I think what Newcastle did was, especially when they got the red card, what they did was to try and silence the wingers. So it made it difficult for Manchester United to really penetrate. And say Manchester United, they're very good with what is it called now, with counter attacks because of the speed of the players. I mean, Mboma is obviously one of the fastest in the Premier League, and then you also have Ahmad. All right, but the moment they clip the club wings, from the flanks, it became difficult to penetrate through the center. Say normally Shesko is not really that fast. You see how him been just the fall anyhow. You understand? But it was a tactical thing, like I said, and I must give them, their flowers. They really deserved it, to be honest. Even though that goal, it was out of this world, and I don't feel even blame our goalkeeper because he was completely helpless. Harry Maguire was already covering Lamens, and that made it difficult for him to even see when the ball was coming. So it became difficult for him to even sort of make any attempt to, push out the ball. But I know, say, get goalkeeper where you go be if you don't try, no matter what, stretch. But it was difficult. All right. So congratulations to Newcastle. I mean, it was a well-deserved victory. So it leaves Manchester United with 51 points. But the crazy thing is, of course, Manchester United, they still top three. But then what yesterday's loss has done is it has sort of shortened the points difference now. So the only people where they a bit comfortable for now, at least now Arsenal, especially because say Man City draw yesterday against Nottingham Forest. That one, another game where really shocked me because I was expecting Manchester City to win. But then now a perfect reminder say on a Premier League, and sometimes waiting you they see, don't be waiting you they expect. All right, so we also saw how Chelsea beat Aston Villa by 4-1. I know many people didn't also expect it, but I mean that is football, and that is what you can expect from the Premier League. So then nobody even come they talk say Manchester United, why don't they praise since say they don't they mess up? That's not even it. All right, so sometimes if you don't play the way you should, every club this serious now, you don't expect to win. All right, so the best thing to do always now to bring in your A game. All right, even though I know say the moment where Casemiro, even though he wasn't really 100% perfect, we saw how it was his fault that brought about that penalty that Gordon actually scored in the first half. Before, of course, he also scored. I was already criticizing him and saying that Manchester United needs to let him go. because he's weak. He's not getting any younger. So they really need to let him go and bring in someone who is way younger and someone who can, who can run around the pitch and never easily gets tired. Before he now proved me wrong, and then he got Manchester United back into the game 1-1 by the end of first half, when they now came back. And then at some point, Carrick had to, bring him out. Then brought in Ugarte, brought in Malacia, who, by the way, I feel is yet to fit into this current Manchester United squad. And it's understandable. We know saying don't they get too many injury issues. Now injury prone player, him being go for loan. I thought he was going to stay there permanently, but he had to come back. So clearly the guy is struggling, and of course we saw how the Newcastle strike actually dribbled him before he got that second goal in about, I think it was about 84, 85th or 86th minute of the game, and then more. I didn't know how to feel. But it really got to me, to be honest. It got to me because I was already saying, at least a 1-1 draw, even though it's bad, it's not entirely bad because at least say they get 1 point. You understand? But when they got in the second goal, bros. I say so that's why we could just miss the whole three points like that. Yeah, so it really cost the club so much so because at this point like this, we be say season done the close. Each team has about, I think, less than 10 matches to play, currently. So it really means that almost everybody done tighten their seatbelt though. Like you can't afford not to score goals like this now. You can't afford not to be winning games. So each club has now played, I think, 30, 20. Match is almost finished. So some clubs have 8 matches to go, while some clubs have 9 matches to go. That's talking about those who have not played. Like for instance, Manchester United has played 29, and they're left with 9. Arsenal has played more games. Arsenal has played 30 games, so they're left with 8 games to go. And currently they are leading, like I said earlier, with 7 points. Man City comes in behind with 60 points. So Arsenal is 67, Man City is 60. But of course, with a game in hand. And then Manchester United comes in the 3rd position with 51, followed by Aston Villa, which also has 51 points or more. Now wow. So any sleep now, Manchester United will just fall down. But I pray that doesn't happen, because of course they are playing. So Manchester United is playing Aston Villa on the 15th of this month. It's going to be a very crucial encounter because whoever wins that match will sort of solidify their place in the top 3. And then Chelsea comes in, of course, after that very interesting win yesterday against Aston Villa, in the 5th position with 29 matches. They have 48 points. So if they're able to win their next match, it means they will now climb to 51 as well. You understand? So it just tells you. And then of course Liverpool comes in the 6th position rather, with 48 points as well, and then 29 games. So it tells you that apart from Arsenal, from Man City down to Liverpool, the point gaps not really many like that. You understand? So we just wait and see what happens. But like I said, the fact that Manchester United no win yesterday, it no mean at all say the club they play well again. They are still doing well. They just need to try and see how they can win games. They just need to try and see how they can become stronger and use tactical display to finish teams. But of course Bruno Fernandes didn't stop showing us the stuff he's made of. Rather, he's one player that keeps supplying passes. He's one player that never stops to impress. Personally, and this is my very personal opinion, I feel like Bruno Fernandes is the player for this season. He's going to win it, and it's undoubtable. Like, the guy has been excellent. He's been doing well. There is no game that he doesn't provide assists. He's also scoring goals. So he's really been on top of his game. So kudos him. I just wish him and other players well, and then wish that they will continue to really score and impress There are fans all over the world. So just share your thoughts on the comment section. Were you happy with the loss yesterday? I know most of you will be happy. I know, and I know that many of you are already expecting me to come out and express my disappointment. While I am disappointed, it doesn't take away the fact that Manchester United has improved a lot, but there's a lot more that needs to be done if they want to be competing for the Premier League this season, and if they want to be able to qualify for the Champions League next season. Go follow say, because say okay, you don't win like 6 games out of 7, you now go and start sleeping. No more. This is Premier League. The club will even expect say go win you, go come win you, and that's the beauty of the game. So were you disappointed? Were you happy with Manchester United's loss yesterday? And do you expect that they would win their next game, which is of course against Aston Villa, which is another tough team? What do you expect would be the outcome of that game? And do you see, Arsenal further solidifying their place in the first position? Because currently they lead with 7 points. Man City comes in behind with 60 points, Arsenal 67. So do you see Arsenal further solidifying their place in the top of the Premier League and even going on to win the trophy? Just share your thoughts in the comment section. And who did you say performed best, in Manchester United yesterday? Just share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching as always. Bye for now.